Hi folks, this is chapter 2 for the Java class with it, 1437 part 1. Let me talk to you about some lecture key things to look for before we get too far from chapter 1. Make sure you're able to know how to compile in chapter 1. How do you compile a program, and how do you run that class file? What command do you run with it as well? So make sure you understand that Java lowercase c on the DOS command that you use to compile, like I did in the hello world. And also you need to be able to understand to run the program is Java space the name of the class file, and then you compile it with it as well. Alright, let me move on to Java fundamentals. This is chapter 2 with this thing. So in this chapter I'm going to talk to you about parts of the Java. I want to talk to you the difference between the print and the print L. This is equivalent to end line. Print L moves the cursor down to the next line. Print just prints the code out to it as well. So what are variables? What are literals? What are primitive data types? Arithmetic operators, and combining assignments and the operators with it as well. There's the order of precedence when you actually do that. Creating the name, the constants with the final. That's your constant with it. A lot of you, if you had me for 1436, you would also have what's called the constant with it as well. So string class with it, scope, comments, and program styles using the scanner class for the input with this thing. There's dialogue. Anything that you read in the book talks about the dialogue or the J option. Disregard, ignore it. I will not ask you anything about on the exam. Okay. First thing, parts of the Java with this thing is I'd like for you to know about the source code that contains one or more Java class with it. So in there with the .java file extension, that is your source code. In this example that I have for you, if one or more classes is in the source code file, one or more of them may be a public. The public class and the file name of the source code must match. So if my file name is simple.java, then I must have a class that's called public class, uppercase S, simple. Alright, that's my class with this thing. So if each class is separated into two parts with this thing as well. Here's the name of here's how you compile it with the C, and this is how you run it with that, and then how do you run the program is Java simple with it as well. So this is how you run the class file without the file extension and just with the command Java with it. Remember now, this must be the name of your class in your program. Like I have, you will also have in the top of your line would be public class simple, and you always uppercase the name of your class with that as well. Notice that there's no file extension on this one as well with it. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. Okay, this is how you actually do this thing. So this is the beginning and this is the ending. Inside of this is you're going to have what's called equivalent to your int main. This is what you're going to have what's inside that. You're just going to call public static void main string argument with this thing. This is what you actually, this is like the main function that's inside of this method that's defined with this thing. This is inside that. It has a subset of curly brackets with this. Alright, so that's your everything fits inside of that. So the body of this definition basically is system out print line with this literal of string that's called program is fun. Now I just want to let you know that in a string you put this between quotes. Okay, for an individual character that you want to output, it has to be in an apostrophe. That's what for one character, for literal for a character, and this is kind of like a literal for a string with it. You put this in between a quote. Alright, so this is going to output to the screen is it's going to move that down to the next line is because of the ln, next line. This is program is great fun. Explanation. This is equivalent to saying C out in C++, your insertion with this particular literal, and then you end L with a semicolon. It takes the two similar statement with it. Alright, make sure you understand what comments are. Comments are // same thing if you're doing / asterisk / is for a bulk comment with the same. The class header files in here Alright, so the class header files that you see here is the compiled things that you are, such as other classes. Public, and that is a simple class. That's the name simple with this thing. Curly brackets associate beginning and ending of your class with it, so make sure they're contained within that scope. The main method, this line must be exact as shown in the example, except for the args variable name can be defined by the user. Let me go back to this. This is what I'm talking about right here. This has to be exact, and this args right here, you can finagle this and kind of make up stuff with the args with it. That's what that's saying. So inside of this thing, you will run this line first with it. That's like I call the front door. It comes into the program, it looks at it as the first thing it runs to as well. With this program run, the statement main will be executed. You can see that this will do this thing. So in the Java statement, a couple of things I need for you to know. You know, what is a class definition for this thing? So in a Java class definition, it has to have at least one of these things. This is what I mean by is the class definition with this thing. Alright, so you got to have the main definition. When the program runs, the statement with the main method will execute. This is its main class definition with this thing. I need for you to know that. I need for you to know, comments out sections with it. How do you comment stuff out with it as well? As you go through this, I'm going to go through and some syntax errors, syntax things that you need to know. Same thing, semicolon that ends the statements with it. Java is case sensitive. All Java must be stored in a Java file extension. Comments are ignored by the compiler. I need for you to know that. I will ask you that in some way, somehow with it, on the exam with it. You need to be able to understand that Java file contains many classes, but many only have one public class. Alright, so you can have multiple classes that talks to each other, but there's only one public static void main to actually call the other classes with it as well. If a Java class has a public class, the class must have the same name as the file. Okay, like that simple, the name of the file is simple.java with it as well. Java application must have a main method. For every left braces and opening braces, there must be a corresponding right braces or closing with it. Statements are terminated by a semicolon with this thing. Alright. So here are some things I need for you to know. I need for you to understand these. These are still the same things what we have from C++. Make sure you understand the syntax for me, these special characters. Here's something that's a console output for this thing. So Java simple, this is how you run the class file with this thing. Alright, and you're back to your prompt with this thing. Alright, console output is, I need for you to understand that the console output is a standard of the Java application, also known as a standard output device with this thing. In here, I need for you to know this for the exam. You need to know that from any place. The standard input is typically your keyboard. Alright, the Java sends information, so need to know this one right here. I will ask a multiple choice test question on that with it as well. Your Java class file, your Java library, are accessed during your Java application program interface with this thing. So these are the type of stuff that you will see. Your console output that will actually have, you have the system output, and you print, and print line will tell you print will be the cursor will remain after that's literal that's being performed or whatever it is, and the ln will move the cursor down to the next line with it. Your console output for your print line method performs the task sending the character to the output device with this. All it is output. It's equivalent to your print line, your system out. All of this is equivalent to your cout. Okay, cout with that as well. So your console output between these two, you will see that will print the following statements on here as well. Let me come down here. These are pretty much self-explanatory. I'm not going to read it to you. I'd like for you to know some of the ASCII escape sequence with this thing. Make sure you understand if you put this inside your quote, it's going to actually take it down to the next line. Note this is a print, not a print line with this thing. So know these. Know this table right here. \n \t \b Backslash T is very good to you for you actually print something out with it, as far as your columns with it as well.